Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming my 2D 4X game creation. I'm still converting it from Unity to to Godot. It's going to take me months to convert all of this as I learn, you know. It is going to be quite an experience. Luckily on my other game, I'm learning like tons on my other game that I can apply to this. I did some UI stuff last time that I learned on this one that I applied to my other game, so it's both things are going along. But we don't have much done yet. We're at the very beginning. So we got two counties. I know you can't see the line between them, but there is two counties there. And then spacebar pauses and unpauses until you hit this 2x speed. Then you hit that, and then we can see down here that I'm pushing pause. Yeah, the collapsing doesn't work because they're all different, but well, we can't see, but I am pushing pause. I swear to God, I saw the push pause button go by. So something's wonky there, and we're gonna fix that. But I just noticed another thing. We also could put a 0 speed there to check that out. So, we're gonna put all. So we have a GitHub project that has all these things, but I just noticed we don't have money on here. I wonder if that was deliberate or something, but we're gonna add this. This is the top bar that we got going. We're gonna put that. This is an open source project. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want the shitty code that I'm writing right now, but maybe one day. My other project is not open source. I'm gonna start some music that you guys can't hear, sadly, and the music is too loud. So I'm gonna try not to shout. I mean, I basically shout anyway. So I noticed that there was something else I noticed, and I was like, oh, I got to do that before we start. Oh, it's this thing. I wanted to put an ignore thing in here. I don't think we need those file contents, and it constantly causes issues. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. I don't have any ignores in here besides the standard. It's where is this thing chilling out? .vs, yeah. The template, the Godot template doesn't includes those things. I don't think we need that. We don't want the .vs is for Visual Studio, so get that shit out of there. It will figure it out in a second, I hope, unless I just fucked up my get ignore. It looked right. It's not brain surgery. .vs, that looks right. So it should hide that thing. I was just looking at. Yeah. Anyways, so I was looking through this before I started, and I'm kind of baffled why this isn't working. And I also remembered something. Last time I was like, man, I do not remember why I was doing this fixed delta time thing in Unity, and I couldn't remember why. But the reason why I remembered after I stopped streaming, the reason why was because it's in Unity, and I don't know if it works the same in this. In Unity, we don't need this or this right now. If you have it for normal, if you just have it not fixed delta time, but just delta time, when you pause the game, you can't unpause it because the engine's paused. So I don't know if that's the same in Godot, that you have to get like the fixed delta time. I don't know. The physics process. I don't even know if this is equivalent. Let's put a note in here. I'm trying to make my comments better. I don't even know if this is equivalent to fixed delta time in Unity. So whatever. That doesn't seem to be the problem, though. The problem isn't that there's something else going on. There's an if statement in the I can't tell if it's registering this. Yeah, so it's registering that this space bar is being pressed. It's just not. It's not pausing it. So we got to figure out what that is. And I had a few ideas about that. So this is the thing. Well, let's double check. Where the fuck is this? This is on the clock. Let's see what this signal. I think it's a signal. Let's see what we got attached here. No, we don't have a signal. It's just here. 500 ticks is kind of a lot. Let's go to 250. We'll figure out the real time at the end. That'll make time go a little slower. We also need another thing that shows us when it's paused and another thing that shows us the current speed that it's at. But we'll deal with that in a second. So this is the thing. Well, let's double check. Yeah, it goes pause and pause when you press spacebar. Oh, that's what I was going to do. So one of the things we can do to make this our life a little better here is we can put, so we can see that. And what was the other thing? We want old time to be exposed here. And those two probably should help figure out what is going on here. I think we also have a negative. So it keeps track of how many things are open for pausing. And I think, well, that doesn't apply now, but I think that could be part of the problem. So let's look at this. Let's move this out of here. Let's go to our remote and check. It should be on the clock. Old time speed is 1. So when we click this, it should go to 2, and it does. So according to our if statement, so it's at 2 right now. I'm going to move this up so I don't have to scroll so far, since this is what we're working on. I guess I could start using these to train myself. I probably should. So if modified time scale is greater than 0, old time speed equals, so that's going to make it a 2. And the modified time should be 0. Number of things paused should be go up 1. We can also expose. Not sure why that has a 0 there. Number of things paused, because I think we have an issue with this too. And if we don't now, we will later. That's whenever I fuck with this time thing, it's always a huge pain in my ass. It's never as simple as you would think. So that looks, where I went too far. That looks, well, no, I didn't go far enough. This looks correct to me. We can make this smaller and like this one smaller. Wonder why we're setting this to 2. That seems weird. Because we would... This shouldn't be 2. I wonder why we did that. That seems wrong to me. This should be... Old time speed should be modified time. Why can we see that? We shouldn't be able to... Oh, I guess that we can because we're in that. This should be the capital one. I guess it doesn't really matter, but the old time speed should be whatever time speed we put it at. I think maybe that was our issue right there. I wonder why we did that. I wonder if that was like a conversion thing. We had to go to 2. This button is really small. Yeah, it still doesn't do anything when we... Let's see. If we go to remote, let's check our variables here. Number of things paused 4. Oh, each time I hit spacebar, it goes up. Okay. Well, that would work if there was... old time is 0. Modified time is 2. Let's double check something else here, too, since we can put the lowercase 1 in. Well, I put it up at the top. These are all... If modified time scale is greater than 0, which it is, in this case, that would become 2, and this would become 0, and number of things paused. So then over back to modified, well, I guess we could do a lot of this. We could make this, because we're not looking at any of this shit right now. Gotta retrain my brain. Oh, I was going to copy that, but that's actually modify has changed to. Let's put this up. I want to put it above this. And let's see. Mod. Why does modified look suddenly? This happens to me occasionally. Words become just blocks of letters. They lose their meaning. Let's see here. Has changed to 0. Has changed to 2. Has changed to 2. All right, so the issue isn't that it's. So it should be at. Wait. Has changed to 0, has changed to 2. What? Um, it's almost like this is hitting twice. We got a GD print right here. Let's see what this does. It's yeah, it's totally almost like that thing is hitting twice. Old time is 1. Modified time. Okay, it's 0, 1. So this should be 2 in 1. Old time is 1, and it's at 2. And then old time is set to 2, and this is changed to 2. Something's fucked up. Obviously, something is fucked up. Modified scale has changed to 0. 0, there's something obvious here. I'm like, we have something else. The old time speed should be whatever it was before. I wonder why my logic would get fucked up between Unity. Like it's the same C# logic. It shouldn't be fucked up between the two. New Joker, how's it going? Two things. Two things. You know, I checked out your YouTube page yesterday, and I was surprised that none of your videos have ever been recommended to me. I'm confused by the YouTube algorithm because you know I'm always bitching and moaning about not enough tutorials, and you have a bunch of tutorials. And in fact, I was looking at your skill tree tutorial because it's almost, you know, I'm doing a research tree in this game, and it's almost a skill. You know, it's almost the same. It's a skill tree with lines and stuff, but it's, you know, research. I was watching it before I actually started this stream, and it weirds me out that like why does YouTube pick certain people to recommend to me and other people it doesn't? I was where's my clock on this? Oh, I called it the timekeeper in this one. I do put like C# in my search results, but uh, okay, so maybe this changed between. I do like you've seen me just in my streams. I don't look at videos in my streams, but you know when I'm not streaming, I'm looking at videos all the fucking time, and it weirds me out that, you know, it's weird. This also weirds me out that I'm setting this to the same number. Maybe maybe this time scale thing isn't what I think it is. Controls how fast or slow the in-game clock ticks versus real life one. It defaults to one, and value two means the twice as fast. No, this is it. This is it. You know, so even if they were all downvoted, it's still engagement. It should still recommend it. You know, if they had 0 likes and they had 100 downvotes, it should still recommend it to me. YouTube is weird because you know how you can go into that like research panel or whatever the fuck it's called, and it will show you like who's clicking and stuff. There was one video that I was like, where are all these clicks coming from? And it was like it said it was in some guy's playlist, and so I looked at his playlist and it was not in there. Maybe it was in there for a while and he took it out, and it would have made no sense to be in that playlist. You know. Um, I think what's happening is I'm missing something obvious. This is a pretty standard issue that I've had in the past. So every time modified time scale gets changed, it should. Let's get rid of this one because now I have too many debug logs. Keyboard was pressed, and then this should adjust it. And at the end, we're gonna go. It's gonna print this, and this hopefully will make it more obvious of what the fuck's going on. I feel like two things. It's getting like two things are happening. I have it just on pressed. So modified time is 0. Old time is 1. So if I press it again, modified time is 1 and old time is 0. That's not true though. Old time should have been, or old time is 1. Old time should have been 0. Um, wait, is my thought process wrong? I think my thought process is wrong, not the code. That's how. Okay. Is this doing anything now? No, because I'm not in the game. Let's go to the game here. Modified time is 0, so it was 1. And old time, it was 1, so the old time is 1, and modified is 0. So when I press this, modified should be 1, and old time should be 0. But that's not what's happening. We're getting 3 debug logs, so we have space and keyboard was pressed. Okay, so there's something fucked up here. Okay, so here's something bizarre. I don't set old time speed in the else statement. Is that what I did before? I feel like I'm looking over my old code and it's like, that is what I did before. How did this shit ever work? I saw this. So this is for video game streams. I saw this guy who says that his best viewed videos are his like beginning of the year top 10 of his last, where he talks about the things he did the last year, and he says it's all it doesn't get him any more like followers or views. You know, doesn't get some views, but no more followers. But it's always the top one. And I wonder if it would be similar with like tutorial if you did like the beginning, like this is what I did last year. I'm gonna do it for my video game channel. I'm gonna do it one of those. So how the fuck did this ever work? No. No. I see. I see what we're trying to do there. That's not gonna work. Get out of here. So if it's already at 0, old time. Why is this always such a pain in my ass? I feel like I should just tear everything out and start over because there's like a fundamental problem with my whole thought process here. So you hit spacebar. If it's going faster than 0, you make it 0. This number of things paused doesn't apply right now. And then it remembers that what it used to be at. If it's 0 already, we turn it to the thing, but what we would have to set it. There's a thing. What the fuck is it called? There's a C# thing. A tuple? No, it's not a tuple. It's a C# swap variables. It's called tuples. I was close. It's this thing. We need this thing. So this, I just need this to look at it, should be I should have put a thing here. It's not going to help me because it's like, what are you doing? Okay. All right. So let me think this through. So, yeah, tuples. Yeah, tuple. Yeah. Man, it's stuff like that. If I like when I first was starting, the fact that I just didn't know that existed was like I was making temporary variables. 10 pages of code to do one line. It's back to the thing where I need to still go back to like the basic C# classes, but they're so boring. It's way more fun for me to try to figure out how to do something, even though I'm doing it wrong, and then hope that I learn later a better way to do it. All right, so let's think about this. So if it's greater, we're assuming the old time is 2, let's say, and it's currently 0. It's gonna take the old time and make that the modified speed time, which would be 2, and the old. I think that's right. I think that's what we want. Gobble gobble dinner day. Is it? Are you in Canada? Okay, that works. Now what's up with this shit? So it's saying that the modified time is 0, but it's not applying it. So I think, what is this? So I never know in these if I'm supposed to put value. I never know if I'm supposed to put value here or this thing. Like, is value the thing? So is there like some minor? All right, it's got to be getting here. Maybe it's not getting here. Whoops. It has to be. I've never seen it not. It is getting here. Of course. It has to be. Well, happy Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving's in like a month ish. I'm flying down to San Diego. I got first class tickets because I never go anywhere, so I have disposable income. It was like $200 more for each direction. Okay, so it's definitely getting there. Okay, what the fuck? I know it's the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. Okay, if modified time is greater than zero, old time speed becomes modified time. What is that? What's happening here? Let's look at this. Yes. Well, then why isn't time stopping? What happens if it's not that my parents one time, like 20 years ago, bought me a first class ticket, and I was shocked at how luxurious it was. Just the fact that you can stick your legs out. And I was so shocked that I've always been like, why can't I afford that? And now, I eat like ramen and I never like order food out or anything. I have groceries delivered, so that's an expense. Like every 6 months I go through um every 6 months I go through like my things I'm subscribed to and go like, am I really using HBO Max or whatever? And if I'm not, then I just cancel it. And so I'm pretty frugal, and I feel like I deserve to be able to spend the money I've saved, if that makes sense. Like, even though it's a total, like, I'm just throwing this fucking money in the trash to pay for first class flight. I'm still like, I feel like, oh, we can get rid of this. You know, if I'm only going to fly once every like 5 years, I should be able to not be in agony because my knees hit the front of the seat the whole time. I have to sit all like wide, like the way you're not supposed to. What is it called? Man spreading. I have to man spread the whole flight, and the poor person next to me is like looking at me like, "What a dick." Um, it's awful. Last time I flew, the guy next to me like was kept falling asleep, and his arm would hit me, and I was just like, and he was sweaty, and I was like sitting like this, as close, trying while mansplaining or man spreading, and it was just I was like, this fucking sucks. I can't even remember. And then the flight's only like 3 hours long, so I'm a big baby. Uh, it's not that bad. Squealy, it is. All right, what the fuck is my problem here? It's obviously it's something dumb, and it's getting here. So maybe it's not like maybe okay. So maybe the time scale is stopped, but the clock is not stopped. Maybe I'm using like fixed delta time on this. Where the fuck is my clock? I'm having all sorts of issues finding things. It's only been a week since I've looked at this, and maybe the clock the issue isn't that time's paused. Time is paused, but the clock isn't paused. But then why wouldn't it pauses in the other one? Well, let's look at where the fuck is my clock? Where is this thing? It's got to be right in front of my face, right? Let's go hours. Let's make this smaller. Let's use this. I actually like this thing now. Well, I don't know if I like it yet. Timekeeper. Here we go. Hey, Win, how's it going? Kids, I'm so glad that I don't have kids. It's one of the joys of my. I think I mentioned this before. My parents aren't happy about that. They want a gaggle of kids. Maybe it is this thing because we want the time to. Well, why would it pause sometimes and not pause other times? What the fuck? Where is this being multiplied? It's got to be this thing. Uh, but why would it pause sometimes and not other times? It is pausing. All right, modified time is definitely 0 there. We push this button and then modified. I hit spacebar again, and then modified time is 0. But, every time I push that, it says old time speed is 2, which it shouldn't be. It should be 0. So something's like turning it back to 2 right away. Do I have like some old signal? Where's that fucking button? Do you have a YouTube channel, When the Flattest? Now I'm gonna ask everybody because I'm so surprised that I wasn't it's on Button Up. It wasn't suggested Joker's channel. Button Up. It runs that. Okay, so do I have any other signals in here that could be doing? No. I'm so glad that it puts this little thing here to show that. All right, there's no signal there. So why would this? So it's when I push this, it's saying, you know what we could do to check this? It's kind of going to be a pain in the ass, but well, let's search for this first. Okay, don't be my friend here. All right, what is this? All right, that's on ready. That doesn't really matter. Yeah, those should swap places. This shouldn't ever be triggered right now. We could do this same thing actually. We don't need this weird shit. We could just do this every time. Oh, no, we can't. Because this is we're setting it to 2. And the old time should be whatever it was before. I don't see. So when I'm hitting space, this should be at 0. Well, I brought it from 2. We're not using this. We're not using this. We're not using any of these things. Is there any other? Oh, it's going to open all these up for me. That's kind of it. I originally was using this pause time, but we aren't using that anymore. And unpause time. Okay. I put it. I know. I even put it. I put it. I even put it. I just did that, and then I was like, I want it to print anyways. I want to know exactly when it happens. Um, sort of. I should have like some sort of counter. I don't understand. So if this is supposedly modified time is 0 at this point, so it should run this one where they swap. So it should be 2. So even if this is not applying, like like if it's not, it's something else is affected. Like the time. We don't want to see my chat. Good God. Uh, Even if the time, it should be swapping, but it's not. Oh wait, 5 things are happening. 35 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is happening twice. It's that getter setter thing is happening twice. Um, why would this be happening twice? So that's giving us 4, which is right. So that works perfectly. I don't get why when I click this, though. Now we're at 2. And then, see, look, right there. So modified time is 0 and old time is 2, and then modified time scale is back to 2. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. This is some dumb shit. It's probably like when you push spacebar, it happens twice or something. This is, I know what this is. This is some noob mistake here. Uh, what else could we be doing? All right, ready? We definitely don't need to look at. Modified time is changed to 0. Do we have some like weird old time getter setter in here? It doesn't look like it. It's always every time I've messed with time. No, we don't have that. It turns into there's some weird little thing, and then I gotta add something, and or like I have a capital. Do I need to do this in Godot? Well, it would be a pain. Let's see if I'm missing. Like one of these is hitting a lowercase one. Okay, they are not. Let's take out this one. I'm curious if it will be easier to tell in this one too. No, let's leave that one in there. I wonder how many hours I've spent on this time shit. All right, so this is just space alone. It's changed to 0. Space again. It's changed to 1. It's changed to 2. It's changed 0, then back to 2. What the fuck? It's got to be this spacebar thing. Why would it do it twice? This is a rhetorical question. Well, I mean, if you know, tell me. I guess it's not a rhetorical question. Why would this do this twice? Okay, let's look at my command, my keyboard input thing. We probably don't need this key code in here. Actually, wait. We can tell from the logs, it's not happening twice. It's happening once, but it's changing twice. All right, so what the fuck? Do we have like pause, unpause in some fucking no? I was the input is right there. I mean, it's pretty. So I have it set the pressed set to false because I just want it when you release the key, because that's how like everything works these days, and it's nothing like websites and stuff. But it's only printing this once, so this is only happening once. It's got to be something with this. It's not though. If it's greater than zero, I just gotta make sure that like maybe I need a less than where I was no, greater than zero. Um, has two references. That's a good, who knows? This is, all right. One, go to here. All right, where's the other one? All right, can I usually just click on this? It says it's in clock script methods generated CS 64. Well, what is this? Do they both say generated CS? This is like a different script. Script methods generator. It's something else. What is it? How do I get to it? Right click doesn't do anything. What about, well, spacebar does that. What about alt click, control click? It's a Microsoft product, usually like control click. Or in the bottom right corner. Well, wait, it gave me like a little, where is that? Stop. If method. What the fuck is that? You know what we also could do, since that won't help us. I guess we already searched for that. Is it like some old signal I had on here? Everything's expanded. So in Unity, that it would generate these libraries that occasionally you'd have to clear out. I don't think Godot does that. Like it would, and it wasn't you were supposed to have to do that, but it would cause like occasionally they'd get fucked up. Well, let's look at our clock specifically. Maybe there's something weird in here. What happens if we take off the script, save it, and then we'll run it here? What are these buttons? I've never clicked on these ones. Run specific scene. Run current scene. Enter movie maker mode. All right, so nothing should work here. I get a debug log. Perfect. Now let's put this script back on my clock. We have very few scripts on this. Day label? No. Day label? This should be hour. I think. And this should be hour. I guess hours. Where's my clock again? Well, now the time isn't moving at all. And that's still happening. What else was connected to this clock? Oh, right. We needed to put the ticks in. I slowed it down from 500 to 250. You know, I did have like a different thing. No, it was connected to space. Let's double check this thing. Edits. That looks right. Go to method. I guess that doesn't work. Maybe you got to be in the not Visual Studio or whatever. These are just mouse click, mouse click. Doesn't have any. So that definitely jumps you to the spot, but when I click on this one, it doesn't. Player space script methods generated. What the fuck is that? Player? Well, the player space is mine. Godot scripts dot method generated. Let's put some quotes in here. It is. Am I not getting this thing right? Alt +3. Alt +3. What? Oh, that brings up this thing. Enter. It has a little gear next to it. Or is that a star? There's a little star next to it. Right click. Nothing. Clock. Script methods generated. I wonder if I like, types a typo and then it generated something somewhere, but it's still weird. I wonder if this happens like, does this have some? Oh, this one has the same thing, so it must be something that's used. It's weird that when I Google it, nothing shows up. Yeah, it looks it is normal. Hocus pocus. All right, so well, let's what the fuck, man. Uh, when I'm saying what the fuck, man, I'm talking to myself here. Yeah, it must be you know part of the built-in thing because I think they all have it. They do, and they all it's like pretty much the same. Invoke Godot class method. This are these the wrappers that one guy was talking about in that one post that I was talking about last stream? All right, so like that's normal. So what the fuck? Okay, one more time. Modified scale has been changed to 0. I push spacebar again, and they swap. That's exactly what we want. I press this to 2. It's been changed to 2. I push spacebar. It switches to 0, then back to 2. It's got to be something to do. That's a good question. I wonder. I have this exposed. We can just change it. Um, in here while it's running. Let's put 8. 8's very fast. All right, so we got 8. Let's make sure that that's flying along, I guess. Yeah, look how fast the days are going. All right. So it changes it back to 2. So what the fuck is it? Let's find this 2. Who owns this 2? Maybe is there something with like your is it because this is selected? And so when I press spacebar, this is getting selected again? Is there some weird that's probably what it is. There's like because it's highlighted. Um let's look at this button. Maybe there's like some sort of well, let's see. If that's the case, can we click away from this? Let's say we click on here. No, it's still highlighted. Look at this button. Can I disable this thing? No, not here. Let's see. This is also okay. So let's disable this button, and then because I think it should. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the button still. This is a weird. How long did this take? 53 minutes. Mate, so I always say this. A lot of times when I'm fixing bugs, I find other code and improve it. I hope that's what I just did. All right, so it's this button is still getting fired when I press spacebar. So keep pressing outside. Kind of seems so. What does this hover over? Give me my tooltip back. It showed it a second ago. Oh, maybe it's because I'm over here. Uh, if true, the button stays pressed when moving the cursor outside the button while pressing it. This probably only affects the button's visual appearance. Oh. Button mask. Call release focus on your button after you click it. Is that also in here? Just okay, wait, there's a focus right here. Mode all. All right, that's not. All right, let's do this. Let's give it a shot. So that's this one. Release, fuck you. Release, I need a button to do it. And I don't think I put a button in here. Um, I didn't, but that's okay. That shouldn't. I'm just looking. Maybe we have another one from. All right. So export uh, private button 2x x speed button. No, this is all fucked up. Oh, I can't put a number in there. 2x speed button. So it's the only time that's getting changed though is when I'm pushing spacebar. It's like still triggering the button. Like I went up to here and manually changed. I think that's what's happening at least. I'm not 100% sure at this point. So let's go back to this thing. Um, so I probably uh, um, I've probably told you guys this story before, but I'm gonna tell again. I've probably told this story 100 times. I'm an IT manager, and when I took over for the old IT manager, he named everything derp, and so like you would find just any file structure where you could have derp, you know, everything was named derp. So searching for stuff was fucking impossible. Like anytime he thought to type in anything, yeah. And at first I thought it was kind of funny, but then later, when you're trying to fix something, you would find like test stuff, and everything would be named derp. And it would just be like, which one of these things do I delete? You know, which one do I modify? And if there was like if it was the same folder, you know how like Windows adds like the 2 and the 3 at the back, so they would all be named like that. And so at least you knew the thing. All right, so let's try this. To release focus. I don't know what that is, but let's see what it does. This is murder. This poor computer. Oh, we got another problem here too. Oh, I didn't assign it. Um, that's the one. The other problem is this shouldn't actually be on. This shouldn't be visible to start. It doesn't matter right now. All right, that's still working. So that's what it is. It's this button is that a thing where that's a feature, not a bug? It kind of would be a feature if you were switching between. Yeah. If you selected this and you were trying to use the key, you know, and you stopped using the mouse and you started going through the things up there. So it's interestingly enough in my hex demon thing where you're going to be picking stuff from lists that would be somewhat useful. Huh. Can we make this like default to that? What is this mode? Oh, I was on it. The focus access mode for the control. Only one control can focus at the same time and will receive keyboard, gamepad, and mouse. Focus. The none cannot grab focus. Use with focus mode. Focus click. The node can only focus grab on mouse clicks. The node can grab focus on mouse clicks, use the arrows and tab keys on keyboard, or use the D-pad. So I think, let's say click. I'm guessing. We're going to have to get rid of this thing. None you can still click? So you know, you can tell this button is tiny, by the way. um, So let's change this. I think we want none. Actually, I can do it on the local one, I think, right? And it will. Yes. So, trying to think how the player would. It seems unlikely the player is going to want to be using uh, keyboard like number keys to move along the top bar. And I might keybind like one is or two would be 2 times speed or whatever. Man, it was only an hour. And now I know, so now I have to remember it though. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. that's that's a good point, Joker. The minute, yeah, and it's probably me on my other channel complaining about it. Why the fuck can't you use the arrow keys to get on this thing and move them around? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Uh, like a week ago, I my cat came home. It's not really my cat, it's just a stray cat that I let in my house. And it had like a wound on its head and like its fur was all fucked up, so I assumed it got attacked by a dog or something, some sort of animal. Uh, and I felt bad for it. Like the first day, I felt bad for it the first day, but the second day it was just like looked so dejected and unhappy. I gave it some treats. And now the thing won't fucking eat its normal food. It just looks at me and cries because it wants the treats. It's like, oh, I knew you had him this whole time. I knew you were betraying me. And now, yeah, so I just let it in. We're going to make a duplicate of this thing. We're going to duplicate this thing and we're going to see where it goes. Where does this thing go? Come over here. This is not working how I want it to work. So I'm hoping we can put this thing in a vertical. This is my thought process here. We're going to call this the 4x button. A vertical, no, a horizontal. This signal is going to be wrong. Oh, that's a good point. Hey, Schmingy, how's it going? I didn't look what you guys are talking about up here. I probably should. Yes. And then we're going to find other issues later. So I may have mentioned this before too. Uh, I have turned when I turn like 47, I suddenly am back to acting like a teenage boy, and all I want to do is eat bologna sandwiches and stay up all night. And so I stay up like I have to force myself to go to sleep. If it was up to my body, I would go to sleep at 4 a.m. every day just and play video games all night. That's all I want to do. It's fucking bizarre. But I have a job, sadly. Okay, we got to move this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a horizontal, like this thing. We got to put a horizontal H box. Well, I'm 49 now. But it was like, yeah, 2 years ago. It was like kind of during COVID. This is going to be the time buttons. Time buttons. And then we'll put this here and this here. Yeah, now the cat's crying. Now the cat is like, what have you done to me? Everything disappeared, which is probably, yeah, they're over here. So we need to put, this needs to go to the right. And did that work? No, but it's close. We got to make this so that it has the right number in it. So it's easier to tell. This thing is too tall, I think. Yeah, this happened before. Well, you can start acting like that anytime. It's weird that my body. Maybe it's part of working from home too. I am. I'm taking it's quite painful. Um, it's a mixed bag. Some stuff is really easy and it just the code comes over. All my C# logic is fine. And then other times where I'm like struggling with the UI, like right now, um, it's difficult. So how did I do this with this H box container? All right, I put a minimum size. All right, let's look at this one. I think we've got to change this. Are you using, or did you used to use, or do you currently use Unity? Right now, I'm setting up. So this is going to be the top bar. Well, I have one going. It's missing. That's a beginning of a strategy. The strategy, real time strategy game. You got the time up at the top. Um, that is, I'm trying to get this bar to work. So this will extend across the whole top eventually with different items right now. And I think I was actually thinking about this the other night. I think I want this to be a gray bar regardless. Um, that's true. So that is definitely true. And this happens all the time. That I'm looking at the old Unity code and I'm like, why did I do it? And which is, so I don't remember how long. I could look it up pretty quick actually. Um, let's see here. Let me mute this. If I go to my, because I export this all to YouTube. And it's not exactly right, but the first one that I uploaded for this one, so this particular game I've been streaming streaming and saving all the code. So the first one, and this is vaguely, so January 16th, so it's been like 9 months of Unity work that I'm moving over. And so while I was doing that 9 months, I was learning stuff. So there's some older code, and some newer code. All of the code is bad. And so I've been hopefully improving it as I port it over. So what we're doing, we got to make this HBox something. Am I on the right thing? I am. We got to make it. This one should be 25. And then there was this transform position 0, size 25. Position should be 0, I think. There we go. That's a good point. Okay, so now we have 2 buttons. Let's connect this to the right thing, though. We want to delete this one. And we want to connect to my clock. But we want, what was this thing called? This thing. I anchored it to the right. This thing should be here. And then yeah, I actually don't like how the UI in Godot is so required to use, like, you can't just drag shit around because all this stuff's gonna get changed eventually. Okay, so the pause is working. So then we just duplicate this thing, hopefully. And that looks like that went in the right spot. We can do this and go to 8 and then change the words. No. Is that what it's similar to? I'm not used to CSS. Yeah, and so a lot of times when I'm complaining about stuff in Godot, or probably Unity too, when I was complaining about Unity stuff, I like to complain about stuff. I think that some of it is just my noobness, you know? We're going to connect this thing here. And do I still have this on my clipboard? I do. And that's the clock. Whoops. Let's connect that thing. Then spacebar. I'm double checking the spacebar every time. These buttons are tiny. We're gonna want to. Maybe they're not that tiny, but they feel tiny to me. I think I'll probably use the plus and minus button. Oh, now the cat's over there that's looking like I was the worst person on the planet because I made it eat the old food. It's normal food. He's just dejected. He used to sleep on my bed, and then since I gave him the treats and haven't given him more treats, he's against the bed. He's like, no, I'm not even gonna sleep on your bed anymore. I'm just going to we're gonna duplicate this thing one more time here. But this is gonna go here, and go times 0. And we're gonna change this. Well, we can do this while I'm here. Disconnect this puppy. It doesn't like the tonguing. The auto mod's very touchy. You know, last night we were discussing when I was playing a video game. The video game had a slur in it, and we were discussing it without saying the slur. And someone typed the slur in the discussion into chat, and the auto mod was fine with it. And we were all like scratching our heads, like, why would the auto mod in my other channel be so touchy, and on my video game one let an actual slur get posted? So that's what Joker and Win were saying, the other people in chat last time, and I was really, I was really struggling with why that's would be useful. Because when I made them into scenes, I had issues with them. I want to make this a 0. All right, so this one's slightly different because this one pauses time, and let's hope it doesn't fuck up something like last time. So what happens if I hit? Okay, so all that code is fine. It was just the button thing. Then we need one more of these that's not a button. Actually, we need a label in here. No, we need 2 labels in here. Maybe. And this label should go to here. What did we call this? So I hard-coded this stuff in, and I don't like that. I noticed it earlier when I was scrolling up and down a bunch. It was somewhere in here. The bar itself should be its own scene. So I have this thing, it could be its own scene, and that's going to be, like, that's what everything's sitting on top of. I don't understand why, though. Why have it as its own scene? Where is this thing? And they were trying to explain it to me last time, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I was, where is this fucking thing? I saw it would be commented out. That just dawned on me. It would be commented out. Not that. Oh, you know where it is? It's under this thing, current speed text. So we just had speed in there. That's just the word I did last time, huh? And we're not going to do it that way. That was me being lazy. And so this time we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do speed title label, I guess. Label. And then this is going to say speed. This is my fear, though. There's like a ton of code that's there's gonna be a cleanup at the end. This is gonna be this is gonna be here. This is gonna be here. We're almost to this part. A lot of this stuff is things that I need to like um, implement to move over. You know, these things don't need it. We're done with this stuff. And I can't remember if forever time is actually used anymore. We don't need this anymore either. This is all for testing. Last stream. So I guess I could do a minimum width Or maximum width. Yes, that's what I can do. Okay, so this is going to be there, and then we're going to need to duplicate this. And this is going to be number label. And this is going to have to be the minimum maximum thing. Well, let's put a number in here. The highest it can go is 8 right now. So let's look at 8. Oh, this doesn't have, these labels don't have the little things like the buttons. So I guess we're going to have to put a panel in there. The reason why I want to put a minimum in here is because I don't want it to move around as the numbers widths change. So let's, what is this, like 10? 25? 25 is, okay, so, I do, I do need an X1. I forgot about that. We only do higher speeds. 10 might actually, 15 maybe. And then let's center this thing. Well, let's put this panel in here. Yeah, and I think it will be better if the panel is one whole panel, not two little panels. You can come up here. You can go here. You can go here. Then this thing needs a minimum or something too here, I believe. I'm very new with the UI. Very new. Not themes. Basically, chat walked me through the very beginnings of it. Last, I don't know, was that 2 streams ago or was it last stream? Panel. It doesn't have the same. Oh, did I have to do that? Is that what I had to do? Was no, it's under layout. Um, 50 isn't enough. Let's fix. This needs to be over here. This needs to be. These aren't centered, I guess. It thinks they are. I guess maybe they are. The bottom line, they don't look centered. No, I think they're a little bit lower. This is when it always, everything gets bizarre for me. Oh, I'm gonna get to use an icon next. There's some ugly icons that I have, but it's the thought that counts. And I kind of want to put a margin on this thing, but let's figure out how to center this button. I'm trying to manually look like manually. I'm trying to use my eyeballs. There is the grid, I guess. It's not very helpful with this small size. Yeah, it's definitely not centered. I don't want to have to do one of these. Buttons and labels have different content margins. Oh, that seems painful. I mean, it's not the end of the world, and there will be a phase where I go through and redo all this stuff, but let's see how annoying it is to me. It's kind of annoying. I do like that the spaces are consistent. At least they look consistent from my poor dying eyes. Let's look at one of these. Theme override. Oh, didn't we do this a bunch last time? Where I had to like set a font. Scale to content. Um, I think it was. I think it was under here, but it wasn't a button. I think I was doing it on a. Definitely not the transform. It's weird that it's just a tiny bit. I guess it's not weird. it it is, but like if I can notice it, then it's gonna. I mean, especially because I'm gonna redo this whole thing. All right, no, you're right. There. So I was watching. I mentioned this video before. I think I don't know why I keep telling you guys everything that I've already mentioned about somebody who was talking about their mistakes they had made in their game development, and one of the mistakes that they mentioned was that they got fixated on shit that didn't matter. That's not the way they put it, but that was what they were talking about. And so this would be one like they spent way too much time on things that uh, were unimportant in the long term. And I think that's probably what we want one. And let's save that. Let's make sure one is actually what we got. We got 1, 2, 4, and 8. And then space is pausing and unpausing. Let's redo this. Yeah, those buttons are tiny for my poor old man eyes here. Uh, change to 0. Um, method not found. Time. Oh, I didn't select the clock. Yeah, exactly. I skipped a step. All right. Speed is 8. Oh, we didn't connect that part either. 1, 2, 4, 8. Back to 0. Let's go to 4 and pause with spacebar. That all works. The days are going up. Let's fix this label here. We're gonna need under the clock. We're going to need a speed label. We don't need this other thing too. You know what blows my mind is when like you hear like It happened with like Red Dead Redemption 2 all the time. Uh, like someone will go into the code and find like the zombie code that you were talking about earlier, and then they'll like fix it and add it to the game. And I feel like, I'm pretty bad with leaving old code, but I try to do my best, like to not have old code. And I think there's even like programs like plugins you can get that will help you find old code to get it that's not used to get it out of your game. And it weirds me out that AAA studios are just like, fuck it, just throw everything in there and then just let's send it out, and they can store that extra 5 gigs on their hard drive for everybody. Uh, yeah, exactly. It's like it's weird that it's. I'm curious how what the AAA studio environment is like. You always hear all these terrible things. Um, but I'm just curious what it's really like. I actually liked this name that I had there better than what I just named this. Current speed sounds better. Current speed. I guess I could have finished typing this and then just relabeled it. Dot text. See, I want to get away from doing this, where I was putting the actual words in. Okay. Look at this. Oh, okay. I was like, we're using a lowercase. That's supposed to be lowercase there. Oh, we need this to set, though. Oh, well, this is the problem. It's not the setting is the problem. It's I didn't put the thing in here. Clock. Where are you? It might happen too fast. It always is. Okay, so speed is 0 or 1, which is what it should be. Man, that is driving me insane. Maybe we should just lower the speed one. Oh, look, these are off too. Jesus Christ. Okay, that changed to the correct thing. Everything looks great. Now we can mark something off my checklist, which is the most important part. We can mark this as done. That is and I added a new one of these at the beginning. Money. No, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot money. Let's do research last, because that one's actually going to be pretty easy. These are not going to be as easy because I've never done an icon in here. So let's go to our graphics thing. What do we got? We got graphics. Let's create a new folder. What is the first one we're doing? This will be, we'll say icons, I guess. The first one we're doing is influence, I think. It is. Let's check out this image. I'm going to open this on the other screen just in case. Just in case it's just a big giant dick. I had this meeting that we posted online, and I said, so someone else was in control of it, and I said, you're going to have to be Johnny on the spot for if someone posts something. Oh, I see. That actually looks much better with the thing. Anyways, I said, you're going to be, and he's like, why would anyone post anything? Join this Zoom meeting that they have no interest in. But I was like, it's public, man, on the internet. Someone shared their screen and started playing Two Girls, One Cup. I warned them before that they needed, and he was like, not paying attention, and he was like, this was some random person, and I warned him. I said, okay, so this is the scene, right? Like this is its own scene. This is what you guys have been trying to get me to get my shit together, is what you're. But so why you're working on this because it's less clutter and shit, so it's just easier to look at stuff without the The like on mine, we got all this other shit in here. Okay. I am an anti-clutter person. We can turn this. Speaking of clutter, we can turn this thing off. If I can know how to do it. There we go. So when you're designing your and is this like you're like you were mentioning CSS? Is this how they do it in web design and stuff? They do it in little chunks. Um, so we would do this part, and then we would have like another scene for the county info, which is this thing, right? Is this what you guys are saying? Like we'd have this main thing, then this would be a scene. This would be a scene, and then when we do the army info or whatever, well, there's gonna be a log. That would be a good example. The log down in the corner or something on the bottom. Gotcha. Um, yeah, I kind of like the panel in the background like that too. All right, I'm gonna copy this link actually. That means this link has to stick around. Copy current address. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. Oh, we don't even have. Oh, we do. I'm gonna put it. Beautification of UI. Because someday we're going to do this. We're going to make this prettier. And we're going to go improvement. Whoops. That copied the... What? Oh, I can't. That's from... Let me copy it from actual Twitch. All right. And then there's the thing that's... This should go here. So basically, when I finish this part, we're done with the top bar, and then we go to the next thing on the list, which I guess we need to keep adding to this. Then we'll go through. Whoops! Now this is. Mention the root is called control. Oh no, I just wanted to save that link. This though, I think I can. This can't I make no save branch as seen. And oh, we have some okay, so this is what you guys are like. Yeah, this is where no. Start fresh. Why? That sounds terrible. That sounds like a horrible idea. I would have to redo everything. You're bringing all the things you might have made wrong. I'm gonna drag it just because I've never done that before. UI scenes. Get these weird bugs. Well, for you, you're probably like a professional though. It takes me 30 minutes to get a button to work. We got to turn this thing off too. All right, I'm not going to rebuild that right now. So I like this idea. And my mind is finally understanding. I'm going to delete this other thing. Oh, look at this cool air we're getting. What is this thing's problem? Oh, but they have to reference the other scene. Does that matter? Or do you have to load that scene? Let's get rid of this day panel. This was I don't think we need that one. Then let's open up the top bar. But this is still, in the main scene, it's still okay like this. And I should be able to just delete this, right? And then I just add it back in. Okay. So for that, so let's work on it. Let's pretend. Let's work on it from here. I don't like this name because that's not how I roll here. We're gonna go. This is gonna probably fuck shit up, but that's okay. That's okay too, because we'll figure that issue out as it comes up. This was a learning experience. What the fuck? F2. And if they break over there, we'll just re-add them. Okay. So main, and it doesn't look like they broke either. Well, let's delete one. The less painful one if something goes wrong is the county info. That just has like one thing on it. And then let's bring this over to here. And then remembered where it was and stuff. So this should actually start out hidden though. And I want it, no, that's in the right order. Now, let's see if we get all these bugs and stuff. What about like signals between stuff? How does it know? It doesn't. It doesn't know. So how do I like link? Do I have to like put it in the code that they're linked? Because that's similar to Unity. Like on ready. No. Okay, so I go to here and then I do what is the problem with this one? This is that label. No, it's not to here. This thing over here has, so all of these are broken. So if we go to here, these are grayed out now though. Start from the button. Well, this one is just like there's these labels where we're changing the day, this thing right here, from this clock out here. You do it from the child towards the parent. What? Okay, let's go. Let's pull this guy up. Actually, that isn't the one we needed. This one. How would this know? How would this label know that this script is accessing day number label? I don't know which signal it's supposed to. I wasn't using any signals. The clock thing is accessing that specifically, and we're just updating the text in it. So I was dragging and dropping these or assigning them, whatever. Either way, this is the same thing. This is the same thing Unity does too with like prefabs. You can't do it You can't do the connect prefabs and stuff, so you have to do it in the script. So like, what I could put in here, like in ready, build a new signal in top control bar. All right, I'm down for it. And use that to update the label. So that's like an event, right? Like an event, and sort of like, comparative to an event in C sharp. Um, so I'm on the label. So we would do something, but how would it know which thing? I'm trying to wrap my head around the opposite way. And so I used events for a while in Unity and C sharp, and I didn't like. I had all sorts of issues with them because I was probably using them wrong. But they didn't seem as useful as everyone said they were. So, yeah. So I just had this dropped in. I can't get to it now, but let's pretend that was in there. That was a label that was in there, and then when, for example, where is one of them? It's down at the bottom over here, actually. And they're probably, generally, I use like a getter setter. You can use edit. I think you guys pointed that out last time. But let's say this is it. So this is the day label, which was in the top bar is a label in the top bar, and it just takes the day variable and it applies it there every time the timekeeper. This is the only thing, and I'm gonna keep calling it fixed update. It's not fixed update. Physics process. Whoops, I keep clicking this goddamn login button every time. And then it gets all upset, and later it will pop up something and be like, why did you cancel this? Uh, so, what was I going to do? I was going to go, so you can editable children from the boxy icon on the left bar. Is this the boxy icon? No, that brings me to the scene. Editable children. So now they're all yellow. But that doesn't that defeat the purpose of having this separate? Well, not there. Can I assign the day label now? I can. So is there, let's think, if we're going to if like best practice, I rather like adjust myself to best practices, if that makes sense. Especially if I'm new to it, it's better to do that, get the habits right now. Um, I in my work, everyone hates change, and I'm the bearer of change. I'm the one who's bringing the change, and so they're always like, "I don't want to fucking do this," and I'm just like, just accept it and get used to it. So I'm trying to, not be the person that I get annoyed at my work. All right, back to this thing. So if we go back to these signals, is there like a signal for like variable changed? Oh, I see what you're saying. So you would set this now and then you would turn it off later. No. Uh, node, rename, replace, tree, property list, script changed. draw. It seemed like that was not going to work. It gave, what was that warning it told me? Let's assign him. What's on the clock? We'll just do 1. And then is that not going to disconnect them? Well, I guess I'm going to get a lot of bugs here. Regardless. Now that is still connected. Okay, so I go this, connect these things. Save it. Do I got a fucking space at the beginning of this? What's going on here? Oh, this is centered. I thought I had a space at the beginning of this. All right, then I uncheck this. Then we hit play. And that works. Man, I really want to change that, but I'm not going to. All right, so then the next, so we edit everything from the top bar again. We go to here, and we add in our next part, which is, well, first we got to move some icons over here. From these things are ugly. Just heads up, these things are ugly. This is, you know, prototype stuff. Sprites, tokens, counties, UIs, things. All right, so this, the first thing is influence. Whoa. There's a cool site that gives you that has free icons for stuff. I guess that's the one I was using for influence. This process will mess things up only if you change any properties in the big scene instead of the bar scene. Which that shouldn't, after they've been assigned, they shouldn't change. And well, I guess I like to rename variables, but those seem pretty likely not to be renamed. Assigning does not change the subscene. But so these aren't going to show. They're like, this is fine though, right? That was a. The right was a question. No, to outside the bar scene. I shouldn't be nothing. I don't think anything here. These ones have this, so we'll have to reconnect this though. So button. Well, no, they worked a second ago, didn't they? The warning was just Volix. Okay, there's been a few of those. No, they didn't work. Okay, so I gotta on this thing. Then I gotta assign the signals back again to button up. Oh, but I can't. Oh, you know, this is similar to a Unity thing too, where you can add things you're sending through, which I don't know if I use. I think I got away from using that. That's interesting. I give up. Rage. Just throw my keyboard down. Fuck this thing. All right, so from here, what is this? Oh, I could pick it from the script if there was a script there. Yeah, I don't know how to connect it back to the other thing. All right, what's the first step? Am I on the first step? From signal button up. My music stopped. I'm going to take a break in like 5 minutes too. Uninstall Unity. First connect it to the root node. Add a script to the top bar. Um, let's see. I guess that is actually an okay name for that. Let's put it in the right spot. Let's create a new folder. Now we got this thing here. We probably won't need the ready and stuff, but I'm going to leave that up to you guys to tell me. We got this script. And we can connect this button 0. Let's start on 0 here. Button up. Oh, I don't have a thing in here. Whatchamacallit? It's checking on the cat. He seems like he's okay now. He's done ignoring me. Like the actions I want to perform. But these are in a different script. On the timekeeper script. Nope, not on this timekeeper script. On the clock script. So I copy this over here, or just put a like a um, method name over here. So I'm already concerned because we're adding another layer of places to have issues go wrong. I don't need this here. Is this what you mean? Button notifies the scene which executes the action and clock. I don't know how it would do that though. I'm still confused. It's way above my Godot level here. I'm on the basic Godot level. I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm on the 1 level. Or are you saying we put in a reference to the clock in here and then we run the clock from, we put in whatever private clock, private, we can't drag it over there. That's okay though. We could do, then you can have your exported variable and link the clock to it. Yeah, then on button up call, the function on your clock is your button up function. Um, but we would have to reference the clock somehow so we would need ready. because on ready, this is going to reference the clock, right? Because we can't go up. We only can go down. So this would, I think it's called clock. We'd have, whoops. No, it's not called clock. What the fuck did I call that thing? Oh, we can't, oh, we need it in the, we need the player space, the namespace in here. Was this in player space? I think it was. But then, so in ready, we would need, I think these ready has to be public. And is it an override? Then this would equal, I mean, this is going to get weird. It's not attached to the clock. It is. We can do that find node thing. Assign it via inspector. What's this link here? Yeah, like this thing, this timer. Now we're back to, well, it'll only happen once, so it doesn't matter. Let's put this over here. Get node clock. And then this would, so in this, we would go, I guess that was public for some reason. I guess in Unity it had to be public so a button could access it. So I'm on the right path here, I feel. But like I said, it adds another layer of complexity to it. It's weird. We're going to rename this, though. Guess we don't need that. Edit this. We don't need this. And then save. The clock isn't, so you want to go off parent. This will work, but if you export the clock variable, can't you set it via the UI? I think I know what you guys are saying here. No, it's not. Export the clock variable. So if I go, and then the main scene. Oh, then we're back. We're to the dots. All right, I'm on the top bar. Okay, so I can put it in here. Okay, I can't drag it. Okay, all right. So we don't need it on ready. This can go away. Whoops. Then it's crazy to me how like chat is behind, 1 minute, and it's always, I don't think this is doing anything. No, it did something. Well, these aren't going to do anything. What about spacebar? Spacebar is okay. So, We'll get rid of the ready for. That's the zombie code. We'll get rid of. Definitely, we don't need it anymore. And now I can. Now I think I remember. I wonder what. So I guess I never really thought about it when I was doing Unity. When you type in like update in Unity, you could just hit enter, right? It would be part of one of these. So I guess Godot and Unity are the one who's filled that part in. I never really thought about that, like, because Ready isn't in here either. That there's someone has to like manually add that shit. I thought it was like a Visual Studio went through some list somewhere. All right, so this is gonna, but it's weird. IntelliSense, yeah, the IntelliSense thing. I figured it was like some automatic process, but I guess it's some sort of human does that. What do we got? 0, 1, 2, 4, 8. Whoops. Zero. Yeah, get rid of this shit. It's weird what I think is. It's often weird what I think is got to be an automated process, and it turns out there's some poor bastard who's got to type in all this shit. All right, I'm just double checking that I didn't put like ×2 speed was ×4 or something. It would not be the first time I've done that. 0011224488. All right. So we're at speed 1. Let's go to 4 first, just because. 2, 1, 2. Pausing works. What broke since last time? Oh, they all have to have signals. Yes. They have to have signals. And then we're still on top bar. 2 is right. 4. 8. All right. 1. No, 1's not going to do anything. 2. There we go. 4. 8. Let's pause with space. Back to 0. Can I unpause from 0? That was an issue in the past. That works perfectly. All right. So now we're set here. I was just thinking about your comment there. Set time multiplier, int multiplier. That's totally what I should have done. Instead of having 4 of these things or 5 of these things on here. Yeah, I could have just. Oh, these are all. It's weird. I changed this one earlier. Wonder why I did this way and not this way. Wonder why I did it. Like this is so bizarre to me. But yeah, I could have just passed in an integer and only had one of these, which we should probably just fix that. Old speed so that when you pause and unpause it, it goes back to the old speed it was. So if you're on 8 times speed, it would go back to the 8 times speed from pause. Or if you were on 2 and you went to from 2 to 8, or yeah, it's from pausing. Um, it's one of those things where like I'm always annoyed with if I don't see it in a game, so I gotta hold myself to the same standards. Yeah, no, this I think this should just be one method. But I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'm gonna fix that. I think we should fix it now instead of letting this shit. We can just use it. Well, I've never used one of these advanced things, an advanced signal. Then I can use an advanced signal, right? All right. I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me pause my music. Thank you. I didn't say thank you. Thank you for the connection. That was way. One day I'll be a level 2 Godot guy. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So, I was wondering, I was thinking while I was outside, let me turn this off. I feel like I had this at one point as a separate thing. I wonder why I would have changed it. And I may be able to look. It would have to be like, it would be kind of a pain though to find it. What the fuck? My OBS just reverted itself. Um, I'd have to go way back. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So let me think this through here. If we make one of these that's like this two is the one we were messing with. Call it change speed. And we'll go time scale. I guess. I mean, I'm calling it speed up here. Um, and it should be. This should be. Whoops, not cut. Oh, I don't. This is void actually. It's not returning anything. And this is gonna be. Yeah, I vaguely remember doing this. It would have been an eternity ago, though. I wonder why I changed it. And I wonder why these are set. Like, I still don't know why this is. There was probably some reasoning behind it. Then let's go back to. We'll start with the. Well, 0 has something special going on. So 0 will have to be its own thing. So let's do extra if. Yeah. So let's edit this guy. This is 1. No, 1's not very useful. Let's do 2. And what did I call this thing? I guess it's just change speed though. Not this. And then we can do this advanced thing. And we'll put in an int. Oh, I can't put in. Oh, I gotta add this. And then I gotta put a 2 in here. Binds 2. So it says it over there. Oh, except now I have to pass it in 2 places. See, it's weird. Like I'm an IT guy, and in IT, you want to have as few things that can go wrong as possible. So we're gonna have to pass in an int here, and we've added like another whole thing. This is called change speed. Right. Yes. We need this. Can we call them the same thing? I need an int in here. We can call them the same thing because they're in different scripts. We'll deal with that in a second. I'm gonna turn my music up. I wish YouTube had like some sort of algorithm where all the music, depending, all the sound on the video was the same. So it says we're at 2, and that works. So now we should be able to edit this. Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch. There's gonna be a bunch. Let's make this. And then add, what are we at? 1. And then 4. Just double check here. Keep double clicking like that, like it's gonna do something. Then we add 4. Then we're at 8. And let's get rid of this thing. Actually, let's get rid of all of these. Just to make sure. Except for that one. Then we can do. I love commenting out stuff and leaving it floating around for a while. All right, 8, 0 is still its own thing. And spacebar works with 0. All right, everything looks normal there. So let's look at the 0 thing. And we can just put in. It can't do if speed is 0. Oh, I see what you're saying. So do it if speed is 0, not modified time scale. This was just. What was I? If it's not 0, it changes it to 0. Oh. I think this is in here because if you hit 0 a bunch of times, it was setting the old speed to 0. That's what this is. So we would move this. This would need to go to here. And then we would have another one. Not O. Then this goes in here. Imagine if I had left O in there. All right, we can get rid of this thing too. And we can get rid of these guys. I think that's what this is because I had, like, probably I was testing and hitting 0 a bunch of times. Yeah, if it's the number O, exactly. Um, oh yeah, no, I could make it an else statement instead of now. So if, yeah, instead of having that on its own, I wonder why it did not equal. There was some reasoning behind. Uh, oh wait, what am I doing? Yes, if this is wait, now I'm throwing off my, what am I doing here? If speed is equal to 0, this needs to go in here. No, has two different things going on. If speed is equal to 0, we want modified time scale to equal 0. Let's get this out of here. And this thing, why was I doing it if it's not equal to 0? Whoops. I'm curious why I did it this way still. This doesn't need to be here at all. But then when you unpause it with the button, it needs to take off one count of number of things paused. So that will put it at 0. If it's 0, it's going to do that. But you can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it like number of things paused minus minus for the else, because if it was an else, it would do it every time you sped up the speed. Um, right now, there aren't any number of things. There aren't any things that pause it. So what those are is when they're panels. As you open up multiple panels, um, um, oh, you know what you could do? you can go if old time speed is equal to 0 and speed is greater than 0, then that would swap. So after that, it would add the new old in it, or the new old. It is the new old. Um, this doesn't even need to be exist right now. Am I overcomplicating it? There's more than two scenarios, though. No, there is, because if you hit 2, if it's at speed 2 and you go to speed 4, it shouldn't do anything. So if your speed is 2 and you go to speed 4, it's still greater than 0 though, I guess. But it would not. No, that wouldn't help. So if you're at speed 2 and you go to speed 4, you don't want it to get rid of number of thing, well, one of the number of things paused. You only want to do that when you take it off of 0. You know what I mean? Um, let's see here. I actually have this. I think I have it exported. We're going to change this, get rid of this little guy. We got a lot of spaces up here. Another space. There we go. Then we can go back to these signals. Edit. Add 0. All right, so we're at speed 1. And then if we go to 0 here, number of things paused is 1. I'm going to put that over here. And then if we go to 2, yeah, now it has number of things paused 2. It should be 0. Yeah, the space bar is gonna. We'll have to deal with that later because that we'll be stuck on that forever. Um, let's just go with this for now. I'll leave. Let's comment out this. And we'll go down to here. Get this shit out of here. This is in ready. We want that. I do want to actually add this. I don't like it when the game starts running. That's another pet peeve of mine. Where this is pause and unpause with the keyboard. So that shouldn't matter at all right now. This should be here. Wondering why I was turning or enabling and disabling the. Oh, I do know why. Yeah, we need to leave that there. That's so if you have like panels open, you can't start the time in the background on accident. All right, now let's go back to this, not to that. Let's double check the keyboard working. I thought it was saying 0, and I was like, what is going on there? But it's not. It's just how the debug logs are going. All right, that seems to be working. So the easy part's done. How much time we got? We have enough to add in these influence. We got time for that. So that's gonna be, where is that gonna be sitting? It's actually gonna be to the left over here. So it's gonna be inside this thing, this one, and we don't need these things expanded. We're gonna add. I was just using like an image. Can I do a sprite? I gotta turn this thing into a. Not that icon. It's the perfect size. Um, you can't have it fit, huh? Is there a UI image? Let me see here. Oh, they don't call it UI stuff though. Uh, Image texture rect. Delete this guy. We want it to fit height proportionally. Like, no. Fit width works. Oh wow, that is much blacker, but that doesn't matter. Um, we're gonna call this. Then we're gonna need a label. Well, I'm glad we got past the time part. It's gonna be a pain as we add shit in. And the time thing has been a fucking nightmare. I say this every time I mention it because it has been. This is gonna be actually quite large. So we'll put 100,000 in. We're gonna need a panel here. Actually, we're gonna need a panel just like the other ones. Panel, and then this label will be inside the panel. And then we want this to be panel container. Why? Because I messed with those panel containers and had so many issues with them. This needs to have a minimum size. That's not a very good reason. I mean, you can still attach a label to this. Does the container expand or something automatically? Let's look. Let's try it. Okay, it does expand automatically. Well, we'll want a minimum size on it. No, non-10 is pretty good actually. That's I feel like that should be like kind of the word for like the sample numbers that you put in, like this. It's not really content. It's something that you're using. All right, we got to find where is this thing? The minimum Nantint also. Minimum size. See, I don't know. We'll just guess. 100 is way too big. So probably about 60. Yes, and then we're gonna want this thing. Um, let's do center. Let's see how it looks when the. I'm thinking we might want to have a maximum size here, if that's possible, because I don't want it to push everything that's, like, so there's going to be a bunch of shit at the top. Yeah, so clipping would probably be better for now, but yeah, we don't want it to push everything over as time goes. So let's see what clip to content. Let's go back to our label here. Um, I don't think that did anything. I don't want it as set thing. No, I guess I do want it as set size. Oh, weird. It's at 26. Oh, and this I can't change. This should be at 25. Oh, it is. It is. All of them are a little bit larger. When did that happen? Well, this is minimum. That's at 25. We did this before. I remember this. It won't go down because this is probably maybe it can't. Oh, wasn't there like an issue with there was an issue like the buttons couldn't go that small or something? It's not that important right now. But back to this thing, we don't want it to definitely don't want it to auto wrap. Clip text? I mean that works, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it right now because if someone has 100,000 influence when we still have this shitty top bar working this way, then we got other issues. Okay, so this is going to be influence. Panel container. This is going to be influence number. It doesn't matter that much. I keep getting caught on the little shit, and it doesn't actually matter. I want to connect these things somehow. I guess it doesn't matter that much either. All right, but let's duplicate this thing because we're gonna have a bunch of these. Well, not a bunch. We're gonna have like 4. Duplicate this thing. Is 4 how many we're gonna have? 4 is how many we're gonna have here. Gotta not get caught in the details here. Slowed down by the details, and that's what happened in when I was doing this before in Unity too. I'd get stuck on one part for like multiple, like 9 hours of streaming. I need one more. And it was just, it's shit that didn't matter because it's gonna probably get changed later anyways. So this is significantly smaller than my text in Unity. My text in Unity, this part, this was so big it stretched across the whole. This exact same thing stretched across the whole thing except for one little research. All right, then let's move over these icons. We have influence. We need food. We need money. Whoops. And we need scrap. And then there's also another thing that I see here. This would be I don't know what I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to bring this over though since I have this. This open. All right, I got 10 minutes left. I think we can make this top bar like this part, and then research, and then Joker. I'll have time to watch your tutorial on the skill tree thing, which I think is going to be very similar to my research thing, and especially the lines. So I want it to have, like I want it to be like a standard research panel where you have research on this side, and then when you've completed it, a line goes to the next thing. We're actually not going to get to that part, but I don't want to. I don't want to like set myself up for failure for the next time when I get to the research part. I mean, when I say we're not going to get, it's not until we get back around. We just need some research completed so we can build a building that, because it has to have. Oh, we can get rid of this fucking thing. Get out of here. Because it's got to have, the research has to be completed for you to be able to build a building. And I think we might have like 3 buildings that are researched to start just for this. Okay, so let's rename this shit. We influence. This should be money. This should be money. We can get rid of these 2s as well. Whoops. This is going to be food. God damn it. I left the 4 in there. This is going to be food. And this is going to be scrap. Then I just needed some temporary things to hold and, placeholder graphics. I found these. I think I already mentioned this too. Man, I keep saying that. Uh, there's a free site that just has like a ton of icons. All right, let's hit play and just see what this looks like. It's tiny. For my old man eyes, but that's what we want. Trying to think if there's anything we actually don't need to connect anything to that yet. That's going to apply later, but we need like there's certain, it's like we got to get the foundation ready for the other things that we're connecting to it. So the last thing we got to do is research. And I got enough. I'm going to sneak in this. It's a button, but we're going to put it over here. I don't know what we're going to put in here. I kind of want to move time to the middle, but it doesn't really matter right now. So the last thing we're going to need is research. We could have done this. I probably should have done this. These guys in their own H thing. That way I can move them around independently. Let's add in H box. And I actually want to rename this thing. And then this is just going to have just a button in it, I guess. And this is going to be research button. And this thing is like pretty static. Whoa. Not that big. We want first this to be to the right. I'm thrown off by why that. I guess it's too big. Did I have to manually set these? Oh, that was it. These buttons had some weird shit going on with them. Oops, I don't want to move this. I want to duplicate this. Oh, this is still doing it. I'm trying to remember. We had to do some that what? That's what we had to do. Oh, I think this thing needs to be. It does. It needs to be in here to stick and to not overrun that other thing. So this has to go. And then we don't want the research over there. Well, I don't want it there. Well, this one should be a container, right? Is what I've learned. We can change this, though, I think, to a panel container. I kind of fucked that up, but we can fix that too. This thing needs to be. And then this will open another panel. This is going to be a full screen panel. So it will be significantly easier than everything else that we've done. So that panel then is going to be its own scene. I'm thinking this through. Yeah, so it will be its own scene, which will be. It's going to be very, very basic at the beginning. Let's hit play and see if we get any bugs. And then I'm going to call it a day. What time is it in real life? 3:25 p.m. Man, Wind, you must be crazy out in some. Yeah, I'm trying to get into Seam Brain. It's kind of. The text in the buttons is different than the text in here, too, which is weird. What is this bug we're getting when we click these ones? The other one. That is back here. It's because I changed the H label thing. This thing we gotta go editable children. current speed. Was I getting that bug for the whole time? Yeah, this is throwing me off every time I think I put a space there. Even though that one kind of looks like that too. Then let's put this back. Yeah, it's weird how this text is different. You know, Unity also had some weirdness like that. All right. 4. That's still good. That's a nothing. 4, 0, 8. Oh, I made a copy. I know what this is. I made a copy of this thing, and it's got a signal still on it. We just gotta disconnect it. There we go. I hate leaving bugs. If possible, I hate leaving bugs. See, you made that what? 6 minutes? Can I zoom in on this? What icon did you use? Yours goes to 1,000,000. You're very, very. Oh, look, you have your time thing here too. Yours goes to 1,000,000. You're optimistic of the abilities of the player. Whoops, we don't need that. All right. Well, I am calling it a day. And thank you guys. Well, let's hit play one more time on this, just to make sure. And I do the same thing with video games too. Like if I in a video game save it at the end where, you know, let's say I don't have any money or there's some horrible, I got to fight a boss over and over again, and I know I won't want to go back to it. And the same thing with programming. Like I don't want to go back to stuff where I'm like, oh man, if there's a big bug that I got to fix. So yeah. Okay. Everything is working great. Thank you for the help, guys. Like always, you are the best. And one day I'll get up to the speed. 4 years. I don't like to put pressure on myself. I live in a pressure-free zone. All right. Thanks. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.